Hello, welcome everybody to Slogans Rock and Metal Extravaganza. We're here today to discuss Allied Forces by Triumph, and after that, For Those About to Rock by AC/DC. So we have a very special guest today. Sure, as you all know, Johnny Metal, John Clauser from My Music Corner and Brands Rock Warehouse, Contrarians.
All kinds of places. Thanks for having an old dog on, man. Thank you.
No problem.
That'll be fun.
Yep. So you want to get started? Say how you got into Triumph and how you discovered this album. And...
Yeah. Okay. Triumph. So Triumph was not a band that was talked a lot about amongst the students I went to school with. For whatever reason, I don't know why. The first time I think I actually have a memory of Triumph, there was some compilation album of some sort, like a Catalogue type of album or something. And it was like all these hard rock hits or something like that. And I remember them flashing up, a song that's on this album that we're going to talk about. And I remember hearing that, but then they do this edit where they go to like Rick doing like this scream, which is not really on this song. So I'm not really sure where they edited all that together, but that was kind of where I first really heard them. And then being a guitar player, you would start, Rick Emmett was obviously someone who was very well respected in guitar circles, and guitar magazines really liked the Triumph album. So, but for some reason, it just took me a long time to finally pick up ones. But they've always been a band that's kind of been in my radar. But this album that we're going to do today, obviously, is one that we're definitely going to have a little bit of fun with, and it's one I've come to really like. So
awesome.
So if you want to jump into the album. You want me to jump in? Okay. Yep. So Allied Forces. So this only went to about 23 in our charts here in the States. Did eventually go platinum, I noticed, around 2003, 2004-ish. Let me just kick in here. So when did this album, what is this, 81, 82, something like that?
81, I believe.
Yeah, I think 81. So, here again, we got a lot of really banging albums coming out in 1981. I think the other one that we're going to be talking about also was 1981. But this album kicks off with just a hard rockin' stomper in Fool for Your Love. I still think this song center to me, as I've gotten older and I listen to it with 24 years, I think, man, this must be what April Wine sounded like if they pumped them full of steroids. Because to me, this has a little bit of an April Wine feel, but it's still this song just has such a kicking opening. Great slide playing by Rick. One of the two songs that has what's his name? Gilmore. Thank you, on vocals. Getting my Mike Levine was the bass player, but one of the two songs that Gil sings vocals for. Great way of opening up the album. Very bluesy, hard rock and stomping song. Magic Power goes into this. You get this nice little 12-string acoustic opening, which you heard Rick Emmett do so much of, and he was just such a great player with that. He was such a good. I mean, Rick is just such an underrated and underappreciated player. Let's just get that, right off the get-go. Transforms into this it just has a nice transition into all kinds of, almost like a Styx-like feel. It kind of has that big corporate rock sound, but you just capture that wonderful magic of what music can be and what music can do and how it brings people together, which, hey, that's a message we still try to talk about 43 plus years later. Great. It just has such a positive, uplifting feel to it. It's just one of those really good tracks that you really feel good about. Air Raid, just a quick little instrumental, which leads right into Allied Forces. This is, again, Rick Emmett tour de force kind of song, just getting getting the people together in a stage of unity. I mean, gosh, how many bands are talking about unifying people together in the name of rock and roll and music? Another great track. Actually, Gil on vocals, the other song that Gil has on vocals. So that was a good track. Let's see. Hot Time in the City, very Chuck Berry influenced boogie rocker. Hey, being out in the city, gotta love that. Now, the song that I heard on those old compilations, Fight the Good Fight, probably one of their signature songs of the entire catalog. This Lay It on the Line would probably be the other. And sure, and I know there's a couple of others, but most people, when you say Triumph, most of them are going to say Fight the Good Fight. And I'll tell you what an absolute classic track. I can't even think of anything this sounds like. There is just they found their sound on this song, and it's just, yes, maybe a little bit of a Zepp feel at some points, but it just is a lyrical, emotional solo that you just feel. And you love those solos. Anytime that you get those solos that just makes the hair on your neck just stand up, man, those are the ones. Ordinary Man, that's the epic track of the album here. Hey, it's okay to be ordinary. Just look at me, right? I'm pretty ordinary. But there's a lot of strength in that power. There's strength in that, in authenticity. And hopefully, if anybody has watched any of anybody's shows, whether it's mine, whether it's you guys, whether it's John the Music Nut, please subscribe to his channel. Contrarians, Grant, whatever it is, I hope you see we have a passion for what we're doing. And I think that really shines here. You get a great vocal harmony to start the beginning. You got the 12-string goodness again. Another good rocking section in the bridge. Wonderful, wonderful track. Absolutely love this. Petite Etude, a beautiful Rick Emmett piece. He's known for doing these little things. One of the first pieces I ever saw of his was Midsummer Night's Dream, from 2 albums later. Thunder 7, I think it is. Yes, that was I remember seeing that in guitar magazines, and I think I might even still have that copy somewhere. I don't know where, but I know I still have it. But again, if you need reasons to appreciate Rick Emmett, just songs, little pieces like this, perfect. Say Goodbye. I thought a good album closer. We all kind of experience that pain and sadness, when we lose someone we love. God knows I've had enough of those. But another kind of acoustic driven rocker, feels like a good closer. Another kind of song I could almost imagine April Wine doing a little bit. Let's see. I even wrote this, even has a slight Boston feel. Don't know why I feel that, but I can feel a little bit of Boston with this one. But I'll tell you, this album has, again, I'm not familiar with a lot of Triumph, and I need to rectify that. I really do. But again, it was just another song where, it was just another band that, again, kids didn't talk about that in high school. They were just not a band that was heavily talked about. And if you did, that was probably like the outer fringes of people. So, this is an album that I could listen to over and over and over again, which is not a problem. So, I would easily give this, I can't fault this album really, but I don't know if I would give it a perfect 10, but boy, I certainly would give this a good 9 with no problem. It's just such a wonderful album. So there you go. That's my take on Allied Forces.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
So, over to Santa Collins over here.
Santa Collins. Hey,
Santa Collins,
when I was in school, they called me Santa Clauser. So that there you go. I know that feeling.
Oh boy, that's awesome. You're gonna get the beard growing though.
Yeah, ain't got nothing going there, but maybe eventually.
Eventually.
All right, I'll get into the album then.
Yep.
I was gonna say the singles, Magic Power and Fight the Good Fight, got to number 8 and 18 on the charts, and Allied Forces was also released as a single, but I don't think that one charted. And it's a gold seller in Canada, I noticed. But yeah, we'll get into the tracks. Fool for Your Love. Get some of that heavy metal feedback before the first heavy headbanging riff of the song comes in. Got some awesome drum fills and slide work accompaniment. Then Gil comes in with a confident vocal delivery. Got an awesome hook-filled pre-chorus and chorus, and leads into a rocking Emmett guitar solo. It's got some great double-track lead lines at the end of the solo. And then we ride that heavy riff on the chorus till the fade out. It's probably one of my favorite album openers from these guys so far of the albums we went through. Yeah.
See, this is why I never did my shows as live stream. Like the peanut gallery constantly is a distraction, but I love it.
It's Christmas, not Halloween. Come on, Ernesto. But yeah, it just this song sets the mood of the album right out of the gate. And then we get the magic power, and we get some nice acoustic guitar chords and keyboard lines to start the song out with Rick singing like a passion-filled vocal. I said it's an ode to music. The song is all about how music affects the listener and gives off very positive vibe that we talked about before in a couple songs on Just a Game and stuff. We get some nice hi-hat work and another verse about a girl escaping from reality into her radio, which how many people can relate to that, you know? If you're music heads like us, I'm sure we all have done that before. Maybe not with the radio nowadays, but yeah, and then we get that familiar line, young, wild, and free. And I love that break with the acoustic and electric lines playing together. What's the radio? But then we get a nice bridge section before we break into those awesome Rick Emmett leads with heavy power chords backing up. Just I said it's a great driving with the windows down kind of rock song. And it's a well-deserved hit for this band. And then we get Air Raid, which is my favorite song. No. It's a good intro, you know, for kind of calling the troops together for the Allied forces is what I kind of wrote down here. Joining all heavy metal fans to join together. And there's some keyboard sounds I thought were kind of cool on that, actually, impersonating gunfire. It's kind of interesting. Yep. And then we get some heavy metal riffage. And Gil returns in awesome form here, singing a great energetic vocal. Song's fast and heavy, you know, dealing with the fans of rock and roll coming together. And I said, can that get any better? I mean, it's awesome. It's a great chugging riff throughout the verses of the song, and it bleeds into a great sing-along chorus with some heavy power chords for that solo break. And Mike and Gil lay down a great backbeat for Rick to solo over, with Gil singing some backup vocals into a high note. Then it fades into more solo action. And then there's a great Gil scream in this song towards the end. I love that. When they go back into that main riff, that's killer. And that just carries us out of the song with the bass heavy ending and some Gil layered vocals, the taking control part. Just an awesome up-tempo rocker. And then we get what is it? Hot Time in the City Tonight. Yep, for sure. Hot Time in the City Tonight. Now time for some 50s inspired rock and roll. Rick singing a great energetic vocal on this track with guitar licks leaning on the Chuck Berry side is what I wrote down. So, and Gil firing away on some drum fills on this song, just showing these guys could have fun with their music as well as being serious. And I love Rick's solo here, channeling some of the 50s greats. I also said this about American Girls when we talked about that song. He kind of has that feel on some of these tracks. And I said this song wraps up one of my favorite sides of Triumph, and I said it's 20 minutes of pure rock and roll to me. I mean, you can say what you want about Magic Power, but even that's pretty driving, and yeah, it's just some of my favorite music they ever made. And then we get side 2 starts with Fight the Good Fight. It's like it's killer, man. Not to be outdone, this side starts with another one of Triumph's biggest songs. It's got great acoustic work with keyboard layerings. And I said there's a heavy Zepp inspired guitar line, which takes us into the chorus with Rick taking vocals here. Another great, inspiring, positive filled verse and chorus. Song just screams self-confidence and always believe in yourself, which that's what I love about Triumph, man. They always wrote about stuff like that. And a lot of rock bands really didn't do that. But you get a nice guitar interlude with nice bass fills from Mike. And I love Rick's lyrics on that acoustic part. You're the master of your own destiny, so give and take the best you can. You know, before some dramatic chords, and then that solo section comes in. Yeah, Mark's a smart man. But yeah, it's just got a great solo section. It's got fast scale work from Rick and hammer-ons and pull-offs, and then we get the intro that comes in from the keyboard at the start, but Rick's playing it at the end of it. I thought that was kind of cool songwriting. And yeah, some of Triumph's best hard rock and firepower is on full display in this song, is what I wrote down. Then we get to Ordinary Man, which kind of reminds me of the song on Progressions of Power with the vocals of Hard Road. It's kind of got that same kind of vibe to it at the start. And Rick delivering an emotional filled vocal on this song, you know, singing about stuff all three of us can relate about, you know. Rick always liked writing about that society kind of thing and how the ordinary man fits into it and stuff. And I think the song really starts cooking around 3 minutes in with that fast, like, galloping riff. It's got some introspective lyrics in it. Heavy section with thundering drums and some great keyboard work, all accumulating into another awesome lead part and Rick can do a solo spotlight for Rick. It's got some cool choir style vocals in the background to certain parts. It's the longest piece on the album. It has many twists and turns that take you on a musical journey throughout its runtime. I said it's another winner. So yeah, there's not much to complain about so far. So and then we get a Petititude, which is another one of Rick's classical pieces. Starts off very mellow, you know. It's very fast paced with some great, you know, flamenco stylings and finger picking. Yeah, like Johnny Metal said, and about all of our guests we've had on, he is one underrated, underlooked guitar player. Ken White.
That's right, Ken. I've heard that story about that with the song. So yes, yeah, I do know it goes along with that. So sorry, keep going.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, but yeah, that's just another great classical piece from Rick. And then we get Say Goodbye, which it's got some cool guitar work, slide playing. I think it's a very catchy song, some nice acoustic guitar underneath the verses and chorus throughout. And Mike's playing some organ here. I don't see DC in the chat, so I guess we won't get no joke about the organ like we did last week. But yeah, you don't hear that too often in their music. The song has a really nice breakdown towards the end with full strum guitar chords, Rick singing in this higher register. It's a nice end to the album is what I wrote down. And I said, to cap it all off, this is one of Triumph's most popular releases after you listen to this album. There's no question why, really. I mean, plenty of hook-laden rock songs on here, as well as some nice jams. It really tied the album into one cohesive whole. Nothing bad to say about this album at all, maybe besides the fact I think they could have squeezed one more song in here somewhere, maybe gave Gil another rocker or something. But, yeah, I said it's a perfect rock album, but I'm going to give it, it's hard not to give this a 10, but I'm going to go 9.5 because this is one of my favorites, man. I love this album.
Sweet. Perfect. All right. So, yeah, starts off with Full Fear Love, and it starts with that little weird high-pitched guitar sound, which is kind of neat. And then it goes into that really catchy riff and some great slide guitar playing. And the whole song, he's doing lots of great slide work, the slide solo. It's just a good, fun, like bluesy, energetic song. Yeah, and then we get to, Magic Power was a big hit for a reason. It's catchy. I've heard it thousands of times, but it's still a good song. And their main riff, you guys, I'm not sure if you know this song, but there was a Canadian band called Harlequin. They actually had a big hit here called Innocence.
I feel like I've heard the name.
The riff is the same, that dun dun dun. The whole. It's if you hear it, you'll hear it right away.
We'll have to check it out. Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty close around the same time.
Well, didn't you send me
B81 actually?
Did you send me one of their albums before?
I think I did. Yes, and that was was like they had so many hits here, but yeah, that's another show for later.
Take a drink.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
And then Allied Forces is one of my top Triumph songs. It's just the solo just keeps going. I think it's like 2 minutes of just soloing, just keeps going and going, and it just keeps getting faster. And then And then near the end of the solo, the drums kick in with like this really, really heavy riff, and then Gil screaming before it goes back into the chorus, like you said.
Yep.
And it's just, yeah, great, heavy, heavy song. Probably the heaviest. I'd say it's the heaviest on the album. By far.
Yeah. Probably, honestly, probably one of their heaviest songs.
Yeah, you could call it a heavy metal song. I mean, Triumph were never considered a heavy metal band, but that definitely has to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's not too far off what Priest was doing on like Screaming for Vengeance and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get the
just
the
a little
guitar
bit more melodic,
a little more. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you put Rob Halford on that, it sounds like a Priest song almost. You could almost, yeah. And then so Hot Time in the City Tonight. Yeah, it's basically a heavy metal version of Chuck Berry. Almost. But yeah, I love that song. It's a top 10 Triumph song for me. I know it sounds funny to pick that because it's just a generic Chuck Berry riff, but his voice sells it. Like he's got he can hit those high notes, and he almost sounds raunchy and aggressive on it when he hits those notes. Like his voice sounds great on that kind of stuff. Like you wouldn't think he has the voice to pull off bluesy stuff, but when he does it, he somehow is able to pull off that old blues rock and roll feel. Even with that high pitched vocals, it just works. It sounds like it could have been on like one of the earlier albums. And when they played it live, he would change it to the city they were in. So there's like footage of them in like St. Louis, and it would be like Hot Time in St. Louis tonight. I don't know how that would work if you're in like Timbuktu or something, or
long name for a city.
I don't know.
Well, if he did it here in Birmingham, Alabama, he would probably say "Hot Time in the Iron City" or something like that. But
yeah, it'd have to be two.
Kalamazoo, that would be there's one. Yeah, that.
Maybe just say Bama. I don't know. Hot Time in Bama tonight.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, possibly. But I don't know if they ever toured here in Bama, so I couldn't tell you. So
yeah, there we go, Bama. And then Fight the Good Fight again. Just a classic song. Even the solo is amazing. It's not a song you would expect to have that kind of solo in it. Triumph was always good at like you just hear like the song, and then all of a sudden the solo would kick in, and you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
it's not a super super heavy song, but then the solo kicks in and it just picks up. Yep. And like the lyrically, it was written about his grandmother, I believe, who was not doing well, and she did end up passing away, and I guess he had to play the song live, and it was a struggle for him to even get through it, but he managed. But and I remember hearing Mike Levine on some radio show where they were just like playing some Triumph songs, which was maybe 10-15 years ago when you still listen to the radio. And he was there talking, and they were like going through each song on the album. When they were gonna play Fight the Good Fight on the radio, and they were just talking about the song. And he's like, my writing credit to this song was changing the title, because originally it was going to be called Every Moment.
I could see that.
Just thought, well, that's kind of sad. Let's just make it a little bit more uplifting. Call it Fight the Good Fight. Every Moment's a little bit dull.
Yeah.
And then when they're about to play the song, the GG's like, okay, up next, everybody, is Every Moment by Triumph. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. And then it's a great song. It has that sort of, I guess, that Zeppelin of what album? Physical Graffiti, that kind of style. Or Zeppelin riff a little.
Any later Zeppelin, even Presence, and maybe a little bit of In Through the Outdoor, but any of the later style,
And then you get to Ordinary Man. It's a very, very fast song, but then it slows down to a slow solo, and it somehow works. You wouldn't think this really, really fast song would work with a slow solo, but I love how the tempo changes, and it does get slow, and there's a really great solo in there. Amazing high-pitched vocals from Rick, and again, hits those high notes. Just a really well-written song.
Yeah.
And then, as you alluded to, the lyrics about how, just all feel-good songs. Even like Hot Time in the City tonight is just like a feel-good, like fun party song, like just having fun, right? There's no downer songs. Like it's the opposite of grunge, I guess you could say. Anti-grunge album.
Yep.
And then you get to Petititude. It's really well played. it's not really my thing, but yeah, he's phenomenal at playing those kind of little soft. I like finger talking on, my God, Progressions of Power.
Yeah.
A lot better. It's a little bit more quicker, and yeah, Petite, it's not bad. It's I look at it as like almost he always plays. It always seems to be the second last song on the album, I find.
Yep.
Which is weird because the song doesn't really go into the next song.
Yep.
But it always seems to be the second last song for whatever reason.
Especially this one doesn't have anything to do with Say Goodbye.
No, it's completely different.
No, not really.
Yeah. And then Say Goodbye, it almost starts off like Fool for Your Love because it's got the slide.
Yep.
Very similar, but then it turns almost into like a pop song almost. Probably my least favorite. I mean, Petite Etude's not really a song. I guess it is, but I'd say Goodbye is probably my least favorite on it. I mean, it's well done. It's just I find the chorus is a bit too sing-songy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good pop. I guess as far as a pop song goes, it's still really well written and well recorded, and it's fine. The vocal harmonies are great. But yeah, it does have a little bit of a Boston feel to it with the vocal harmonies.
I didn't even think about that. Johnny brought that up.
Yeah. Those high pitch, and he turned down Boston after Brad Delp was replaced by Fran
Cosmo.
Fran Cosmo. Rick Emmett was actually asked first, and he said, "No." He was like, "I already left the band where I wasn't in charge, so I'm not going to join another one."
Yeah. That's about right. But
yeah, he's like, "Make no mistake, it was Gilmore's band, so I was the hired guy." But, yeah, he turned down numerous, like Boston, Damn Yankees. There's endless amounts of people he turned down because he just wanted to do the solo thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so it's really great album for me. It's not top tier Triumph because, like I said, I like the earlier, like edgier stuff, but there's still great. Like it's still a great album. It's not a dud by no means. Like it did well. This is their highest selling album internationally. It's not going to do that if it's a bad album. I mean, well,
yeah, for sure.
That's debatable. Hysteria exists, so.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
But I'd go. It's like, the songs are. Oh man, it's a tough one.
Let us down easy, Sydney. Let us down easy.
I'd go 8. I'd give it an 8. Give it an 8. 8's not
wrong
bad.
with an 8.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's well, it was quick. 28 minutes.
28.
We didn't ramble as much as I usually do.
That's because I'm on. We're not. Nobody's messing around. I guess. I don't know.
All right. So then we got to do the.
Your dad.
No.
Your dad's very upset with you.
8 is too low. Oh, good. I'm getting put up for adoption.
All right. Yeah.
You're grounded.
Oh boy.
Not even 1 extra point for being Canadian. Fine, I'll give it 8.1. half a millipoint.
Gosh. See, I could never get my mom to be on to watch any of my shows because she wouldn't have any clue what I was talking about with my music. So she would have no clue on any of these bands. Now my brother and sister, maybe so.
Who Blackie Lawless? Who is this woman?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, girl that you're talking about.
Probably so. So.
Play it louder, Johnny. It helps.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
8. I give it an 8.
Well,
imagine if I gave it a 4. What would it? Oh boy. Stop cooking with cheese, and he might leave. I don't live in my parents' home anymore, but okay. Oh boy.
Oh my.
So now oh boy. Sure you don't want to go live, Johnny?
Hey, I did that for my birthday. That was a lot of fun, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. But
yeah. So now we go into the little Triumph trivia portion that we do to see who was paying attention. And whoever, gets this question right gets to pick another album for us to talk about after next week's Triumph discussion. So let's see.
Yep.
Let's see who's going to get this. This should be an easy one. What song had a different title originally and was changed by Mike? Johnny, you're not allowed to answer. I see you.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking at the comments. I'm just waiting to see here. So.
Okay, you're looking it up. Okay. Get ready. Let's see.
Yeah, I like Jeff's comment here. One of the reasons I love Triumph was because they were so positive in a world full of douchebags.
Well, ain't that the truth?
And yeah, I met them too. Like, so, and they weren't. So imagine if I met them and they were just like the rudest people.
We probably wouldn't be doing the show right now, would we?
Probably not. I had to get my cookies out of the oven. What was the question? Good. I'm not asking again.
Oh boy.
I feel like she's gonna do a troll pick for album if she do
Madonna Like a Prayer.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's gonna get it, man. I don't know.
Come on. The easy one. Time out for you and no cookies.
Oh boy. You might need to repeat the question. I don't. Maybe nobody caught it. Maybe everybody left by who knows?
Maybe they're all getting cookies or something.
Yeah.
They went to go buy the album after.
Get some straight up Jack or something, but yeah, it's a little too early for that. No.
Yeah, so what song was changed to Every Moment, or from Every Moment? The song was originally called Every Moment. So which song would that be?
It's still a lyric in the song.
Yep. It's not Every Moment in the City Tonight, so it's not that. No, not Allied Forces, Ernesto.
Ernesto tried.
See, but Ernesto has 8-tracks, so and A-tracks didn't come with the lyric sheets, so
Yeah. You have to make up your own.
we love you, Ernesto. I'm just kidding.
You had to write them down.
Yeah, on their books, like I saw somebody else.
Ernesto's gonna get it. Come on.
Yeah, Ernesto, you can pick again, man. It's okay.
Yep.
Even if you have to go through all 9
You have
tracks.
to cheat and look up the lyrics. But Triumph.
He does have the he does have that 8-track for this album. So
he showed me it's just a game 8-track when we were gonna do that show.
Nice.
So
nice.
Gonna go play the whole album and wait for the song and just listen for that line. Just list every song on your 8-track.
Ken White got it.
I'm back. Fight the good. He had to go listen to the album. That was quick.
There you go, Ken.
There you go. Ken,
Great job, Ken. Yeah.
Try to keep it to a band that we haven't talked about.
Yeah. Please no Debbie Gibson.
That could be, that would definitely be Out of the Blue.
Don't pick Taylor Swift. Don't make me go listen to that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to either.
He just upsetted 2 billion people.
Make Sydney wear a dress.
Oh, geez.
I don't even know what I do in my spare time now.
Well,
we could.
Hey, we already learned about his conception, so.
The Kick-Axe concert, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, where's Grant when you need him with his chair? Oh boy,
that's awful.
They're here right now.
Yeah, Ken, pick an album for us to review next week.
After Triumph next week, we're gonna
Wait, we can start going into the next one if you want to while we're waiting. I don't care.
Well, while Ken's waiting. Yeah. While we're waiting on Ken.
Yep. So let's go with So go to Johnny Metal to start with for those about to rock.
For those about to rock.
I'm assuming you got into AC/DC before this album, so
Yes, I did.
You
Yes,
could
I
still
did.
say how you got into AC/DC. I mean,
So with me with AC/DC, yes. Let's just talk about that. Let's talk about that inner sleeve, which in my version of the CD does it's one of these digipacks, so it doesn't do it justice. Mine's in like that. So let's talk about the gatefold. Does that image not rank up there with maybe, I don't know, say something like, if you're going to look at an iconic gatefold picture, that was it. Or that one was one of them, along with the Kiss Alive too. So strong stuff. But with me and AC/DC, it was a band that I was starting to read about in magazines, and Kiss was kind of on, they were kind of straddling the ropes a little bit, at this point, because they were, by this point, Dynasty had come out and they did Unmasked. You could tell the drums on Unmasked didn't sound like Peter. Heck, even Dynasty, didn't sound like Peter, except for Dirty Livin'. But then, so I was kind of on my way out with Kiss at this point. So I had to, I was starting to find some other bands, and AC/DC was kind of one that stood out. You started hearing about them a lot on the radio. I mean, come on. You started hearing stuff from this about that time, 1981. 1980, 81 was when I started hearing stuff like, all the classic tracks. But then you also heard stuff from this. And then earlier in 1981, they came out with this.
Yep.
So they had like a bunch of albums coming out that the radio was playing all these various songs. So I heard Highway to Hell. I heard Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I heard Back in Black, Hell's Bells. I heard all these different songs. And so I eventually got into them. And those three were probably like my mainstays. Now, I think it was Elsie that said something about play it louder so my parents could know about this. Well, I did that once and I got in a lot of trouble for it. Of course, it didn't help being a sixth grader or whatever year I was at the time. It doesn't help when the song that your mom overhears you singing is Big Balls. Just saying. But see, my problem was I was playing Clue a lot at the time. And what's one of the rooms in Clue? The ballroom. What do you do in ballrooms? You have parties, you have dances and stuff like that, right? Sixth grade me thought that's what the song is about. It was about dances and parties and big balls. Well,
that's what it's about?
Well, that's what I thought when I was in sixth and seventh grade. Apparently, nope. My balls are always bouncing to the left and to the right. It's my belief that my big balls should be held every night. No, it's definitely not about parties. Anyway, we're not here to talk about big balls or for those about to rock. We're here to talk about for those about to rock. We salute you. So I could not, when I heard about this album, I could not wait to get it for Christmas that year because it came out toward the end of 81. And I remember putting that on my birthday Christmas list. So I couldn't wait to get this one because, like I said, these other three big influences. And I get the album. Oh yeah, there you go. Yes, I remember that's how my vinyl looked. It was that old tan. Back in Black had the kind of that black and grayish. Yep. Yeah, I miss having those vinyls. Anyway, yeah, but boy, you put this album on and you get the 12th most played song live by the band, the epic title track. Bombastic. Yeah, it's a little on the it's a slower grinder kind of song, but man, this is such a good song. just calling the troops out. You get Angus's, that little opening intro, and then it just you get the cannons firing at the end. Just Brian Johnson shrieks all the time. Well, I'm just going by what I saw on setlist.com, but I digress. Anyway, great song, great opening track. But see, and I'm just going to preface this before I get into the rest of the tracks. The rest of the album is a good album, and I remember playing this a lot as a kid. But at some point, the only problem with this was I just kept going back to this or this or this. I didn't eventually wind up going back to this as much. So let me just preface it by saying that. So the next track, I put the finger on you. Is this Shoot to Thrill? Nope. Not in the least bit. In my note, as I'm listening to this album again after all these years, because it's probably been a long time since I really listened to this album. My notes were, and this is where the magic stopped, and this is where you get this AC/DC where it just becomes the same, the workmanlike, the formulaic, whatever you want to call it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. And not a bad song. Don't get me wrong. But it doesn't have that punch like Shoot to Thrill had, or like Girls Got Rhythm had, those second tracks. Still not a bad track. Good. Got some good stuff with it. Let's Get It Up. This would actually be played according to Setlist because it was a single. They played this about 49 times, and that's it. You go from about, I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. What was the number here? Okay. So for Those About to Rock We Salute You shows up 1,158 times played live. And I don't even think it had to do with Kick-Ass concerts. But anyway, but you have a major drop. This album is barely touched live. They only played 5 songs off this album. Like I said, Let's Get It Up was the single, so they did play this some. But again, according to Setlist, not even 50 times. So, good Angus solos, Phil and Cliff locked in. You're going to get that. You're going to get that ad nauseum for the next bunch of albums, really. Inject the Venom. I think this is a good spacious stomper. I like it. Talking about defiance and not backing down. You get all the good tasty bits of what AC/DC brings. Snowball. I think it was a good side closer. Maybe the circumstances falling out of control kind of deals kind of what you have there. But again, you have all the classic AC/DC signature stuff. Again, you could go ad nauseum with all that. Here again, is this a strong side A as opposed to a Back in Black, a Highway to Hell? Nah, not really. Hate to say it, AC/DC fans, but that's, as I have looked over in the coming years, that's kind of how I've looked at it. Evil Walks, is this Back in Black Part 2? Definitely not. But it's still not a terrible song. Don't get me wrong. Not a bad song. You get that kind of an arpeggiated intro, kind of a Hell's Bells-ish, almost a little. You get some good hooks. Darkness Abounds. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. COD, Care of the Devil, kind of picks right up where Evil Walks, but this one's more like The Devil in Me. What was one of the lines? It's the size of the sinner. The size of the sinner is the size of his itch. That's one of the lyrics, folks. Just saying.
Poetry.
Gotta love that. Poetry. Is it Bon Scott poetry? Not quite. But but then again, Breaking the Rules, another kind of rebellion kind of theme, slower rocker. You got some good bluesy solos going on. Not bad. Night of the Long Knives. And this one kind of surprised me. I didn't realize the kind of where they got their influence with this one. This actually references Nazi Germany, believe it or not.
Yep.
It references an incident in 1934 in Nazi Germany, talking about basically political extrajudicial executions. Now, the song doesn't dive that deep in it. They used the title and kind of carved around a song just basically about political oppression and different things like that. It has a cool kind of singing chorus, but not a bad song. It's just not exactly the thing you would expect out of AC/DC. I definitely would not hear Bon Scott singing something like this. That's for sure. Spellbound, being under someone's spell sometimes is never always a good thing, but again, this is actually a better closer than Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, I think. But not a bad song, not a bad way to end the album. But yeah, they only visited this album according to Setlist. On this tour, it's only been, some of the songs have only been played about, like I said, Let's Get It Up said 49 times total. Put the Finger on You only played 21 times. Inject the Venom 13 and COD 10. So this is not an album very heavily visited for whatever reason. And I even noticed, I think Flick of the Switch was even less. So at this point, yeah, it gets pretty sparse when if you're a big fan of this album and you're wanting to hear some of it live, aside from the title track, you're going to be disappointed. So,
yeah.
And I think this is an album where I think all of the signature sounds that you hear will start getting copied quite a lot as you go through the 80s. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's my take about for those. And the other interesting fact, Back in Black sells about 25-30 million copies. Yeah, this one only did about 4 million. So quite a bit of a drop.
But
although
I mean,
it did
4
go,
million is still a lot. Like
it did go number one. It did go number one in the States, where Back in Black did not.
Black did not. It's their first number one, actually.
Correct. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just want to reference this thing again. What a live shot. I mean, it's really a shame that this Digipack cuts out Phil's face, because this was just a perfect shot that you could see everybody very well on this picture. You got Angus in Fury, you got Cliff in a good Fury, you got the spotlight on Mal, you got Brian being on Triumphant Pose, great shot.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Awesome.
That's my take.
We've got the original CD. I don't have that one. Yeah.
The one I have.
Oh, you have? No, you showed the one with the.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what would you give it then?
Oh yeah.
I would give this. As a kid, I probably would have said, AC/DC could do no wrong, but then, might have to slack down a little bit. I still give this about an 8.5. It's still not that. It's still not a bad album. It's just not. It just you had a lot to live up to from Back in Black. Back in Black is just, there was an urgency, there was an energy about every single song, and this just didn't quite live up to Back in Black, and then they would fall into kind of that trap where they just started doing their thing, and so there you go.
7.
Awesome. Yep. More on that later, Jeff.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So Sydney sent me some pictures from his parents here who've seen AC/DC. Not on the For Those About a Rock tour, but the Flick of the Switch tour, I believe, right? Fly on the Wall, yeah. Yep. So I just want to show some of these off if you can see them, kind of.
Yeah, I sent these to him so he could put them on the.
Yeah. Whoa. I don't know what I'm doing here. All right, hold on.
Me either.
There's Angus.
There's Angus in all his glory.
Uh-huh.
And we talk about a good band shot. This is a pretty killer one too, right?
That's a great shot.
Yeah.
You know,
Even
sadly,
the album cover for Flick of the Switch. Sent
You
it
know-
in and say, here, use this.
you know, it's sadly I never got to see AC/DC in concert.
Really?
No,
I'm
I
thinking
never.
about. You can go, John.
So, somebody was asking about it's
Oh, I thought it said Jeff Dennis on it. You got a
when
Jeff
I,
Dennis.
when I saw Jeff Tate earlier this year, I got that. But yeah, I never got to see AC/DC in concert. Like I said, by that point, I was out of him, and I just never got to go. And yeah, now that Cliff is retired from touring, of course, Malcolm's passed away. Phil has all kinds of legal issues that prevents him from getting in the States.
Yeah.
Brian Johnson, 76 plus years old.
He's 76 now.
Oh God, yeah, he's up there, and Angus is going to be 70 next year.
It might be easier to do now. They probably have.
I just don't think, and not only that, but my other thing is I don't always like Brian singing Bond's songs.
It does sound weird. They're two different voices.
I hate that. And this is going to anger some people. I actually didn't mind it when Axl took over for a little bit.
Me neither. I didn't.
Because when I listened to those, I thought he did a great job on the Bon Scott songs. Did okay with the Brian Johnson songs, but he really did the Bon Scott songs well.
And at least they played some different songs, right, during that time.
Yeah, and they did pull some oldies out there. What was Love Hungry Man? I think was one they pulled out.
I think so. Yeah,
I think that might have been one that they pulled out, and songs like that. So I know they're doing a tour next year, but
with Axl, right? Yeah.
No, not with Axl. No, AC/DC's touring next year, but I'm just like, I think I've been hearing everybody saying the ticket prices are ridiculous. So I was like,
I think I read something that he was going out with AC/DC again.
Oh, I don't know.
But his voice, he destroyed his voice doing that AC/DC show because he went all out and just screamed, and his voice was shot after that.
I can imagine. Well, I'm trying to sing Brian's stuff.
Yeah. Even Bond, even singing the aggressive Bond stuff, like it's.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll get into it then.
Yep.
All right. So, pretty much made the same notes that Johnny said here. I mentioned the singles "Let's Get It Up" and the title song reached number 13 and 15 in the UK singles charts, and of course the album selling 4 times platinum in the US. I don't know how true this is. It says overall sales reached up to 7 million worldwide, but I was looking at the chart or the sales figures, and like Australia 5 times platinum is only like 500,000 or something. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure how they go by it there, but yeah, I'll get into the tracks then. We get the big anthem to start the Allied forces of this album. For those about to rock, we start this album out with some of Angus's like staccato picking, kind of like he did on Shoot to Thrill, and we get some chords from Malcolm, just showing that great teamwork between the brothers here, And then the band powers into that killer groove, a great call to arms rock song with a great chorus that was really, it sounds like it was made for a live setting, which it's no surprise to me that this is such a big song in their set list. And, it's got a great last minute of this song with the band giving all kinds of energy and going a little bit faster in tempo. And I also mentioned that Angus got the title of the song For Those About to Rock from British writer Robert Graves, which I guess he was a historic writer. And he got that line from ancient Rome. And I guess the prisoners would say before they were executed in the Colosseums, "For those about to die, we salute you." But yeah, Sydney brings up a great point there, man. Malcolm, even Angus says Malcolm Young is a better guitarist than him. And some of the early AC/DC stuff, I think Malcolm does the leads on, like Soul Stripper and stuff. And it's killer. He's a great player too, for sure. But I also mentioned the song makes use of cannons, which I seen came from the band rehearsing the song. And I guess they heard cannons going off in the other room, and it was for Princess Diana's wedding. And I guess it was during the song, like the part of the song when they put the cannons in, and they were like, "Oh, that sounds good there." They just, you know, did that. And I read too on the album, it's like a mix of cannons and fireworks together, so that's pretty cool. And obviously, they love the cannon so much because got her on the album cover and everything. And I also mentioned about this song being a live staple for AC/DC, closing out many of their concerts, even still to this day. And then we get like kind of how Johnny said, the rest of this record. We start getting some problems with "Put the Finger on You" for me. Like musically, this song is great. It's a great hard rocker with the band really doing what they do best in that hard rock sound. But like the lyrics in this song, it's just I guess I could kind of put this and "Let's Get It Up" together because both of these songs kind of bother me. It's just the thing I love about AC/DC early on with Vaughn. He had that witty way of writing like innuendo-filled lyrics, and it's just gone here to me. I mean, it's just not the same. Brian just doesn't give off the same vibe with me. The song has some great gang vocal work too. I love that in the chorus, and it's got a great Angus solo. See, Sydney's 100% there. But yeah, then we get "Let's Get It Up," which, like I said, I have to say about the same. Great song musically wise. It's just the lyrics kind of get to me. I said this song should have been brought up for a Viagra commercial at some point. Come on.
Angus is there in the shorts. Oh, God.
You think about how many times have they used "Back in Black" in the Walmart Black Friday commercials? There you go.
Loose lips sink ships.
But yeah, then we get "Inject the Venom," which this is my favorite song on side one. That's who we need to get a sponsor with.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I mean, we get "Inject the Venom," and I really do like this track. It's got a great stop-start riff with Brian's gritty vocal, Love the tough yet humorous nature of the song, like especially with Angus starts a solo. Whatever Brian says, stick it or whatever, and Angus like does that pick slide, killer. It's my favorite on side one. "Snowballed," which is a nice rocker with Malcolm and Angus really showing off their teamwork skills again. But kind of does the same thing. I was kind of talking to Sydney about this. We were talking about "Flick of the Switch" earlier today. The faster paced AC/DC songs with Brian, they don't really do much for me. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of there. It's not like with Vaughn, like when you hear riff raff and beating around the bush, and it's just energy there, man. And it just kind of falls flat to me on some of these. But yeah, it's an okay song. And then we get "Evil Walks," which I love this song. I said this album's answer to "Hell's Bells," like Johnny Metal mentioned. Got a great guitar riff that gets repeated, and Brian singing in fine form. Love that breakdown groove right before we hit with another Angus guitar solo. He always knows how to keep his playing simple, but also show off his skills as a guitarist in his solos, I said. Got a great chorus. Just a great song. Great opener for side two. And we get "COD," another great song of this album. I think this could have been on side one over some of the sillier songs is what I wrote down. But for the time, this probably wouldn't have done much. Having, "Care of the Devil" being released as a single would have probably been a bad move on the part of the band. Even though they're just talking about like a very not nice girlfriend the band had or something, But the song is everything you could want in a hard rock track. Catchy chorus, great guitar work, just a great song. Then we get "Breaking the Rules," which is like a kind of like a bluesier feel in the verses with that big anthemic chorus. Angus kind of gets to show off his blues soloing a little bit in the song, and just another great one to me. Then we get "Night of the Long Knives," which I wrote down what Johnny Metal wrote down about the historical part of this. Operation Hummingbird is actually also what it was called, I guess. But yeah, I also said besides that, this could have been used like in you guys know Trauma, right? Like Toxic Avenger, and
Yes. Okay.
if they were gonna make a theme song for a Trauma movie, I could have seen this being like a song about actual killer long knives.
I could probably see that.
When I was a little kid, I probably thought that's what this was about, to be honest with you. But then, I got older and I was like, because it is strange subject matter for AC/DC. But yeah, it's a great hard rocker with a catchy chorus. And Spellbound is my favorite on this record. Awesome closer. I 100% agree with Johnny Metal that this is a better closer than Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. Gives like an eerie vibe throughout, and I love Brian's like evil vocal kind of. It's got like an eerie sense to it. It's got a classic riff. Another great solo on the song. Love when that groove slows down too, when we get that powerful chorus for the last time. And just to end, I think this is kind of a flawed album. It has its moments. The highlights for me are very strong, and some of my favorite Brian Johnson era songs are on this album. But just some of the, it's kind of weird when you look into this. The difference between some of the lyrical stylings on this and Back in Black, it's just strange to me how some of this stuff is. Because, I mean, you hear some of them songs on Back in Black, a lot of it sounds like Bond lyrics to me. But it's hard telling about that, I guess. But I would give this album a 7 out of 10 overall.
All right. Also, Ken picked. I've never heard of this band, but like it'll be fun to do a band that we've never heard. I've never heard. I don't know if
I've never heard.
Narnia.
Nope, Ken brought it up on one of Johnny Metal's live streams that I should check out a song. I don't know if that song's on that album or not.
Okay.
But
I looked it up. Yeah. It's their first album, so okay.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll check it out.
All right. That's a obscure pick.
That's good.
That's good though.
Yep.
All right.
I like obscure stuff. Most people don't. I mean, how many times do you ever hear people talking about
it's obscure for a reason because it was no good, and it's like, yeah, whatever.
to some people maybe, but not to people like me. But
no.
All right, man. What do you think about this album then?
All right, so yeah, for those about to rock, what a great way to open the album. Like, that's probably one of my top AC/DC songs. It's a great, probably might be my favorite Brian Johnson song with AC/DC. And
great. Yeah.
How often can you really say that about a band's biggest hit, that it's like your favorite song? For the most part, it's always like the deep cuts that you would usually gravitate towards. Yeah, like it's great song. And yeah, the cannons at the end, when I saw them, that was just, yeah. I was really high up. my dad found some golden ticket thing on the ground, which basically was VIP, and he ditched me and my mom and went because he found this golden ticket on the ground and basically could have just grabbed them. He was that close. I'm like, wow. He comes back later and he's like, I was right beside them. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, you could count their teeth.
Yep, you could count their teeth. Yeah, not the golden boy, just got the golden ticket. Oh boy. Yeah, and then like I agree with you. Like I don't know, put the finger on you and let's get it up. Just very generic. Just sounds like they could have been on Ball Breaker or one of the later albums.
I think maybe if they would have broke them up, maybe it might have been a little bit better, but. One after the other like that, it's like...
yeah, it's like, okay, it could have been one song. The same subject matter, basically. And then, yeah, Inject the Venom. I love how it starts with the whole... I like when Brian does that kind of like... I don't know what you would even call that style of singing. He's almost rapping, sort of. It's not really rap, but like, yeah, when he does the whole no mercy for the band if they want.
Yeah, it's like gritty.
I love when he does that kind of like really fast singing and it's like a pause in between. I don't know what you would call it. Yeah, I think that's great. The chorus is great. Yeah, that's a good song. Inject the Venom. Really good, like fun riff, catchy song. Snowball, I'd probably say is my favorite on the album. After For Those About to Rock. Like I said, you said they barely played. Did they even play that live?
According to setlist, no.
Maybe on the tour and that was it. Like
no, they didn't even list it. No, I even looked up some set lists. No, even on the tour for this album, they barely touched this album.
Big bands now, when they tour an album, they play the entire thing.
Yeah, no, they didn't do that with this one. They played all the big songs from Back in Black, and all the other hits. But no, this like I said, they barely even touched this album live.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but that's great
Great.
fast up tempo, and probably Angus's best solo. I'm assuming he's doing the solo. But yeah, the solo on there is just
Yeah.
killer. It's a fast song. By far the most energetic song on there. There's nothing really else on the album that's that fast. And I love that fast Brian stuff though. Like I love that stuff. Evil Walks, yeah, great mid-tempo song. The chorus is very catchy and memorable. It's very simple, but it's, to me, it sounds like it could have been on Highway to Hell almost. And then yeah, another great solo on that song. So I think, yeah, for those about to rock, Snowballed, Evil Walks, those are the Inject the Venom even. So you got pretty good songs so far. And then this is for me where it tails off. I mean, COD, was it Call of the Devil or
Care of the Devil.
Care of the Devil, which is like, okay. It's kind of weird. Care of the Devil. Okay then. And then yeah, just mid-tempo, catchy chorus, good little bluesy solo, but that's an alright song. Breaking the Rules just sounds like complete filler to me. I don't really even, I don't know, not crazy about that song. It's, listen to it and I've already forgot how it goes. It just seems kind of like,
just keep on breaking the rules.
Whoa, we got Brian Johnson here.
Come on, get ready to rule.
Hey, don't forget about before he goes into the chorus, what does he say? My own way, right? Okay.
Yeah. Now there's some Shakespeare for you.
oh my gosh, we got Johnny Johnson here.
Johnny Johnson.
Johnny Johnson.
I'll tell you this story before you finish.
Yep.
So one time I was supposed to see Cinderella one time in concert.
Nice.
And we were standing out waiting to get into the arena, and all of a sudden we saw all these security people from within the venue come out, and they said the shows, they have to cancel the show. And I would learn later that apparently Tom Kiefer blew his voice out.
Yeah.
So I and there was a mall like right across the street from the venue, and I was walking around the record store there, and I just, for some reason, I broke into the chorus of Gypsy Road, and I tried to sound as much like Tom Kiefer as I did, and I had a lot of people like turn around like, wow, he is okay. Oh no, that was just somebody else. Sorry.
Well, here's a question from my mother actually.
Oh. I have to say it's got to be the Warlock right here.
Oh, Warlock.
It's a BC Rich Warlock. I picked it up at a store used. It looked like it'd been used as a Pete Townsend at one point because it's really dinged up bad. But I played in a band for a short time, and we recorded a couple demo tracks, and I used that guitar to record it on it, and somebody played it for a friend, and they noticed that the one song had like a little bit of a Slayer vibe or Slayer sound to it. Now, granted, we were a faith-based band, so it's to get that was a little weird for Slayer, but when they said the Slayer thing was kind of cool, because I was like, well, that was that. The band at the time was called Empire in Ruins. That was the name of the band. So, but yeah, that thing just sounds so nasty and so dirty. It's just gorgeous, and it needs work, unfortunately. I think the neck had been all messed up for a long time. The tremolo system's kind of goofy, but she feels good in my hands. I love it very much.
Starting to sound like an AC/DC song now.
Yeah,
a little bit, but no, probably the Warlock. I have a 7-string over here. It's just a basic Squire 7-string. I bought that in I want to say I bought it in 1996. So it's probably older than Logan.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how old the guitar is prior to that, but I bought it in at least 1996. Now there's an acoustic behind me that you can't really you can't see, but that was actually the guitar I started taking lessons on. And I grew up in Pennsylvania, and where I grew up was like right outside. I was very close to Martin Guitar Country. So this thing is actually a Sigma guitar, which was Martin's kind of off-brand, econo-brand version. So it's probably the closest I'll ever get to a Martin guitar. I do also have an Epiphone acoustic 12-string. There's an Ovation acoustic that is an electric, and then I also have my first electric guitar was just a Hondo Mastercaster. Martin guitars are. Yeah, I need to sell my kidneys to be able to get one of those, but they're beautiful. I've toured the factory is a wonderful thing to tour, and I highly encourage anybody to go check it out sometime. But I also have a resonator. Somebody gave me a resonator guitar. I hardly ever touch it though, but it sounds pretty cool. But it's just one of those things I never get to play. But anyway, there you go. There's my guitar history. So
awesome.
And now we can let Sydney finish the album. Now that we
we went on a tangent there. Holy.
Well, if it resonated with me, I'd play it more often. But see, I'm not that good of a slide player. So, and resonators, it's really best to tune in an alternate tuning, like say open G or open D or something like that. You don't want to do it. You can't play a standard tune. So it really sounds good when you have it tuned differently. But I something's messed up with the electronics though, and I've never been able to get anybody to fix it correctly. So, because it's a company, the company doesn't exist anymore. So, but yeah, somebody gave it to me about 12, 13 years ago, and they said if you plan to sell it, just give it back to me so I can do something with it. But he just wanted to bless me with it. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. I just need to play it again. But
nice.
Anyway,
awesome, cool. Man. Yeah.
So yeah, we get to Night of the Long Knives. My dad I was thinking of it. I couldn't put my finger on it, not to make a joke, but yeah. But he reminded me when he was listening to this that the riff, what it sounds like, and this is probably where I'm going to get killed, is Dr. Feelgood. Motley Crue completely
Motley Crue completely stole it.
Yeah, completely stole it from AC/DC, which is not surprising.
No,
but even a little bit of Unskinny Bop, that sort of. Yeah, there's the comment that's going to get me murdered. Poison sounds like AC/DC. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they copied the riff. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, come on, nothing but a good time. I mean,
well, yeah.
Come on. You don't really think there's nobody in the world that doesn't think that opening riff sounds like Deuce. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Maybe not the rest of the song, but boy, that main riff. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah. Go back.
Steve Frehley guy.
It's total. Yeah. Except the AC/DC one's way better song. Yeah, that's a good fun song. And
that's the important thing. You just said the important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
That's right.
Poison did what AC/DC couldn't do. Oh, God.
We just lost our subscribers.
There you go. Put the finger in your mouth, get it up. Could have been on that Poison album. Followed up by Unskinny Bop. God. And then Spellbound just seems just a slow, generic song that doesn't do much for me. I don't know. It just. There's Logan's.
What was he saying in rock and roll noise? Get off your ass and come on down here, because it just makes good sense. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, I'll still take Spellbound over that one.
Oh yeah. Spellbound. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not big on the slow AC/DC songs. The slow.
So you're saying Night Prowler wouldn't be one of your favorites either?
The older. No, I like the old Bond stuff, like the Bond stuff. But the Brian Johnson slow stuff, I was never crazy about. I'm the opposite of Logan on that one. I don't know. I just doesn't.
You like what you like, man. You like what you like.
I
That's right.
find there's a lot of songs that remind me of the stuff that they would do on the later albums.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean,
the 2000
the,
albums.
the recycling system has started basically. So yeah.
Doesn't matter. Coal in my
No
stocking.
presents for Christmas.
There's no presents. I can't sing that high. I'm too old to sing that high.
Oh, with King Diamond here?
Damn. Got Brian Johnson and King Diamond on the show?
Oh boy. So, there's a duet.
A very bad impersonation. But
oh God, there's a duet. Brian Johnson and King Diamond. Oh.
They could do a medley. They can go from what would it be? No presents for my mistress at Christmas. I don't know.
There you go. Oh boy, yeah. To rate this is where I die. Oh boy. Yeah, like I find if I listen to this, I find I skip like a good chunk of it. Like there's only like 4 songs I really care to hear on this. I'm gonna have to go 5. It's
I could see that.
It's not that I hate it. Like if I were to hate it, it'd be like 0. Like but yeah, it's 5. It's just I like only half the album, so I'd go 5.
It's not Hysteria, so
no, yeah. Hysteria is a 6. Come on, no. Come on, no. Who doesn't want sugar poured on them? Come on.
Well, as long as I don't have to hear the song, I guess. But, oh gosh.
Yeah, it was, what's going on in the chat? No CDs for this Christmas. Yeah, depends who's pouring. Oh boy.
Kick axe, baby. Kick axe.
Kick axe.
Going back to 87.
Bond in the TV image. What? Oh, you had Bond up on there?
Oh, on here? I might have.
Bond on there. Yeah. Getting cold. Can't kill the Unabomber.
Well, back into the Unabomber.
I'm probably not getting anything for Christmas, but then again, I don't ask for anything for Christmas, so I'm good with that. So I have enough crap behind me. I don't need to be doing anything more. But
just don't ask for a mistress for Christmas. That'll get
no. My wife would definitely not appreciate that. So but well, yeah. So just to get off the subject, so if y'all I'm just going to plug my channel real quick for those of y'all who are tuning in. I've been finishing up an Accept series where Logan had done a Blood of the Nations with us. This was the episode that you can see right now. As Logan likes to say, we wrap this dog up this weekend. John and I will be recording Humanoid. It's going to suck that we're putting it out on Christmas Day, but I'm sure nobody will be watching it live, but that's okay.
Who's going to be on that one with you, John?
It's just going to be me and John.
Cool.
Unfortunately, the guy who was going to do Humanoid with us got double booked by his family. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that. I also been doing a series on this band here called Mortification Monday. So I've been doing that. The album I don't have the original version, but I'm going to be doing Live Planetarium, recording that this weekend or on Monday. So that's my plug for that. I've been doing a album ranking A through Z, and this coming week is going to be brought to you by the letter H. I just did my letter G was Genesis Trick of a Tail. So, which is extremely hard because that's an 8-way tie pretty much. But I have some ideas for what I'm going to do for H, but and I think I know where I'm going to lean because it's probably a very super simple. No, because I don't. The thing is that I actually have to own a copy of the album. I have I think I do have Look What the Cat Dragged In on CD or on iTunes, but I don't have a CD version of it. So P will probably be for Predator, Easy Prey. I'm gonna guess.
wow.
No, no. Yeah, no. I don't. The only Scorpions album I have is that I have a physical copy of is actually just Rock Believer. I don't think I have anything else. I don't even know if I even have anything. I don't even think I have anything of theirs else, even on my iTunes, actually. But I don't know. Scorpions is another one of those bands. I've never listened to the early John Roth era. No, because Willie has his first name. If it's a person's name, I go by their last name.
You go with the letter, yeah.
Right, and I don't own any Willie Nelson, so there you go. That's I just thought I'd get those plugs in
cool.
and let you guys
That's tough.
either write a show out.
That's tough. How do you pick a band for that? Like that's once you get to the letter, just start thinking bands.
I just look at the letter of whatever I've got, and like I could I could do Impaler, I could do Iron Butterfly, I could do Iron Maiden, I could do Images of Eden. I think is a band out there. And
I thought you were gonna say Images in Vogue. I'm like, that's a
no
interesting one for you.
No. But yeah, thank you, Mark. Much appreciated that. Anyway, yeah. So who knows? I mean, but yeah, the trick is I have to have a physical copy of the album. I can't be just picking something from Spotify or iTunes just as something random. No, I want to have a physical copy of it. So
okay.
So there you go.
So yeah,
that's awesome. And because everybody has stories with what they love.
That's true.
Obviously, Triumph, obviously you have probably could tell some good stories. Your parents obviously can tell great stories about Kick-Axe. I have stories about a lot of the music that I love. Why is it that I love certain albums the way I do? Like Melanie says here, Iron Butterfly is awesome. Yeah. And there is an album that's very deep in my DNA with Melanie. So I'm sure you're probably going to guess it, and I'm sure you might be happy without being terminated because I just gave you a little hint there with a couple songs on that album. But anyway, there you go. But yeah, we all have stories. Old fogies like me, because I just turned 55. Old fogies like me, we have lots of stories of what an album did for us. So,
oh boy, yes. Oh, rub it in my face some more.
So
that's the best part about doing these shows too, man. I mean, hearing everybody's stories, and
yeah. I mean, maybe the rate,
I don't have as much, as you guys do. I mean, like when Johnny Metal said, he was waiting for this album to come out, like. It's interesting.
It already was out. Yeah.
I mean, Sydney wasn't even born yet when this album came out, but because his parents didn't see Kick-Axe yet. But anyway, what was I going to say? Okay, maybe the track ranking may be a little cheesy, and maybe it's unnecessary. But certain songs, it's like we did with this album. There are certain songs that are going to affect us and impact us more. Okay, maybe Night of the Long Knives doesn't do anything for us quite the way For Those About to Rock does, or something like that, or Inject the Venom, or Let's Get It Up, or something like that. But each song still has a story that's connected to us, and that's kind of what I want to start exploring more with these album track rankings. So you got to pick something that's really in your DNA. You don't want to just, it might be in your collection, but if you got it and you don't even know the album that well, there's no stories to it. You can't you can't make the stories up on the fly.
Yeah.
But although I guess I try, but anyway, I'm just rambling, and I'm sure you guys, you guys have another show later on this afternoon, I think, don't you? Did I see that?
Yep.
Yes, we're going to be starting our state-to-state obscurities and first listens. So it's, as the title suggests, we're kind of going in that direction of picking stuff that I don't even own any of these albums. It's going to be just, I literally went on Encyclopedia, Metallum, and some other websites, put the state in, and whatever popped up, I would check some of the stuff out on YouTube to see how it sounded. some of the stuff I've heard before, but yeah, it's interesting to just hear stuff for the first time and just talk about it.
Yeah. And I saw you guys are doing Brother Kane, which I'm like, that's, I only have one album by them, but yeah, Damon Johnson's he's a local boy kind of around these
Your
parts.
neighbor, right? Live next
kind
door.
of sort of he
comes over for dinner all the time.
Yeah, right. He got a start with a band out of the Birmingham area. They were called Split the Dark, and that was born out of a band called Hotel. And he kind of toward the tail end of the time of the band is when he joined on. So he kind of got some starts with a local Birmingham band, but good luck finding that Split the Dark album. I don't think it's anywhere on Spotify or maybe YouTube if you're lucky.
So they recorded it. Wasn't just like his first band. He actually recorded it.
I don't think he's actually on the album off the top of my head. I think he came on after the album came out.
Okay.
But I'm a little foggy on that part, but on that history. But Hotel is a very, very wonderful band. Really good AOR, kind of Toto-ish, maybe Halls and Oates, but just a strong rhythm and blues soul rock band. But they had one song that just has a beautiful guitar, just classical guitar sound.
You mentioned I have heard of that. Okay, I was thinking if that's the same Hotel. Because I remember when going through obscure bands, that was one that popped up. But I don't think they were from Alabama, were they? Hotel.
The Hotel I'm talking about was yes. There may have been another.
Right.
They had what I would recommend.
70s, right?
I would recommend Hotel. They did it as I would recommend probably the Half Moon Silver album of their two albums. That's a good one.
Right.
The Half Moon Silver track is a beautiful, beautiful song. Beautiful vocal melodies.
Talking about them on something before, but
Rock Daydream Nation. So Peter Kerr, hey Peter, we talked about it on Rock Daydream Nation. So
so they originally started like early 70s, 73.
Yeah, they
changed their name to Split the Dark, and he joined later. I was gonna say there's no way he was in there in 73.
Yeah. Hotel sludged around the clubs around here for the Southeast for a long time. They just never got a big break. They never got the break that they really needed. So, but a great band, and rest in peace, Mark Phillips, the singer and songwriter from the band. He was a good guy. I got to meet him a little bit once.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy. Hated when he passed away from COVID, but he was a super guy, really super guy. So.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. So take a bit of a break. I don't know what people's schedules are or availability, who's able to watch it. I don't know if it says scheduled at 4. We might start earlier. We're not gonna go later, but we'll if we're ready and make a little last minute notes in between, and we'll take a little bit of a break, and we'll start at least at latest at 4. So thanks everybody for watching, and tune in for the start of our next series, State to State Obscurities and First Listens, and starting with Alabama's Brother Kane and Alaska's Pandemonium.
Pandemonium. All right. That's a good one.
Yep. So we'll get into that. And thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Johnny Metal. Thanks Logan. Check out My Music Corner. You can go there in our channel on the homepage. It'll be listed there along with all the other guests that have appeared on here. So thanks for watching, and see you later on our next video.